Presenting Phish Comes Home, 30th Anniversary Celebration. A live television special and DVD to be broadcast live online at livefish.com and also through the Palladium Television Network Monday, December 2nd, 2013 at the Flynn Center for the Arts for Burlington, Vermont. Why Phish? Why Burlington? Well, the band got its start in 1983 at the University of Vermont when students Mike Gordon and Trey Anastasio happened to meet up through a flyer. Just started playing gigs around town. The band started to escalate quickly, getting a weekly gig at Nectar's, and even offered to take their gig to Colorado in 1998, ensuring the band's success coast to coast. The band still didn't have much success in New England, and in 1989 rented the Paradise Theater, and to the chagrin of the owners, sold the club out to people traveling down from Burlington, so that even so a year later they finally got a presenting gig at the club. In 1992, Phish saw themselves on the Horror Tour with such national artists as Blues Traveler and the Spin Doctors, and also in 1992 they found themselves opening up for guitar legend Santana on his summer tour. These two moments would throw the band into the national spotlight and gain them their now legendary cult following. On New Year's Eve 1995, Phish played Madison Square Garden for New Year's Eve for the first time and sold it out. The concert became one of Rolling Stone's top 10 concerts of the 1990s. In the summer of 1996, the band had their first festival, the Clifford Ball, in Plattsburgh, New York. The event sold 60,000 tickets, so it was a huge success. The band went on to do 8 more festivals for 9 total, the largest of which was the 1999 Millennium Concert, where they played from midnight to sunrise and was featured on ABC's Millennium coverage.
Seminole Indian Reservation in Florida. There was the biggest traffic jam that we know of in the country was caused on what's sometimes called Alligator Alley, which is South Florida's east to west highway, and it was jammed today with fans of the Phish going to the Big Seminole Indian Reservation to hear a Phish concert. If you don't know Phish, think Grateful Dead, at least in terms of their dedicated followers. And 75,000 people, it must have been the earliest sold-out concert of anywhere on this Millennium Eve celebration. And they sang for us out on that reservation and as well for their devotedly fervent fans.
Falling down on me, heavy things I could not see. When I finally came around, something small would pin me down. When I tried to step aside, I moved to where they'd hoped I'd be.
Add in the fact that the band has its own film, has appeared on The Simpsons, has helped induct Genesis into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and has its own Ben & Jerry's ice cream. It's amazing all the things this little band in Vermont has done in the past 30 years with no help from radio or MTV. So let's get into the event. The venue is going to be the Flynn Center for the Arts. The Flynn Center for the Arts is a 1,411-seat Art Deco theater dating from the 1930s. It is very much the hub of the Burlington, Vermont community, hosting the Discover Jazz Festival each year, local arts organizations, and such. The band has performed at the Flynn before, most notably once in 1992, and one of the largest events in the theater's history was in 1997 when Phish played a surprise show there to launch Phish Food Ice Cream with Ben & Jerry's. Very big deal. Going into the day's show schedule, most of the band lives in the area, and so they will be transporting themselves to the show. We're going to actually have 2 shows. There's going to be an unannounced set on Nectar. So sound check at 11. We're going to set up the gear at 11:30 outside on the marquee. We're going to have the show outside at noon. They're going to play for about 30 to 45 minutes. 1 o'clock, there's going to be a VIP luncheon, and there's going to be taping interviews for the TV special and DVD within their old showroom of Nectars and Metronome. Then they're going to go over to King Street, which is within walking distance, and film around their old home. 4 o'clock, sound check at the Flynn. 6 o'clock, dinner. 6:30, the doors open to the venue. The printed start time is 7:30, and that's also when the Palladium online pre-show is going to begin. The show will actually start at 8. Set 1 will end at 9:30. Set 2 will begin at 10. The venue's curfew is midnight. There's going to be a post-show gig at Metronome. Not a gig, but an event. The last call is 2 a.m. Looking at the financial feasibility, great thing about having this in a small town is the costs are low. So we can get a really high profit of $368,900. But if you kick through these expenses and knowing that the band doesn't require a lot to set up, there's not a lot going on for the show, I estimate there only being $50,875 in expenses for a net profit of $318,025 for the total event. Going into the details of the rider, wasn't able to find a lot of details regarding specifics with dressing rooms and things like that. Most of the details I can find on Phish's rider with during the security. Security is going to be very important, especially with a show of this small size for an artist like this. It's very important it all goes properly. People aren't crashing gates, jamming in the theater, otherwise the show may be canceled. Of course, as always with Phish, it's very important that is a non-violent crowd. You need to treat them with respect, and they will do the same, and they will dance wherever there is space, of course. But again, as it says in the bottom, even if the show is not sold out, beware people tend to gain entry without tickets. Alright, going over event risk analysis. That's one risk. Another one is, let's say the Nectar show can't go through. They would play inside Nectar's. Can't film on King Street, film on UVM's campus. If the online broadcast goes out, work on getting a refeed. What have I learned through this experience? Well, I learned that even for a low-maintenance band like Phish, there's still a lot that has to go into this event. A lot of scheduling. There's probably even more timing that I haven't even found out yet. There's a permit process that I haven't even covered in this video, but it's a good start. I feel like I'm in a good spot for managing this type of event, and making sure everything goes smoothly, and making sure that the band has nothing to worry with, because I know in a band like this, having seen their history, they really care about their fans a lot, and it puts a lot of weight on the manager to make sure the fans are satiated. So I hope you learned a little bit about Phish, why their 30th anniversary is a big deal. Again, 30 is also the number in which the Dead was forced to untimely end its career. So in its comparisons between Grateful Dead and Phish, 30 years is a good milestone to gauge themselves and hopefully gear up for another fantastic 30 years. So look forward to bringing you Phish Comes Home, a 30th anniversary celebration, December 2nd, 2013, live from the Flynn Center for the Arts in Burlington, Vermont. Goodbye.